Vas, you took over in February. You have such a fast pace. How come you're doing everything so swiftly?
When I think about Novartis and where we're headed as a company, I want us to be a focused medicines company powered by data and digital technologies. And when I thought about that strategy, I thought it was important to get off right away into focusing the company. So what we've done thus far is we've exited our consumer health joint venture with GSK for $13 billion. And now also today, we announced that we'll be moving out of, intend to move out of the devices business with ALCON Ophthalmology with a goal to spin out a leading medical devices company next year. So we exit those areas, but at the same time, we've made two important acquisitions for $13 billion, both in gene therapy with Avexis and in oncology with advanced accelerator applications. So I feel quite excited now that we're moving in the direction that I believe the company needs to be to succeed in the future.
Do you feel any pressure when it comes from shareholders? Is that the reason behind this fast exit of ALCON and the other parts you sold?
I don't feel pressure from shareholders. My goal is to do the right thing for the company for the long run. I want us to continue to be one of the leading medicines companies in the world, like we have been for decades, almost a century, going back 100 years. So I don't do this because necessarily of shareholder pressure. I do this because I believe it's the right thing to do for us to succeed in the future. I also believe we as a company have to hold ourselves accountable to patients, our employees, as well as shareholders and society. So I really take a multi-stakeholder approach with these decisions.
So what's the logic behind selling ALCON in such a quick way? Everybody was expecting it to be sold maybe next year.
The nice thing about our approach with ALCON is we'll be spinning it to our shareholders. So we thought this was a great way for us to focus Novartis on medicines, to allow us to focus our capital and our energy towards developing breakthrough therapies, and at the same time enable our shareholders to own a leading medical devices company in ophthalmology with ALCON. So it's a very balanced approach, allows Novartis to focus, allows our shareholders to own a leading pharmaceuticals company and a leading devices company.
So nevertheless, what about valuations when it comes to this new company based in Switzerland eventually?
First, we're very excited that the company is based in Switzerland, where, of course, Novartis's home is and where ALCON's home was prior to Novartis's acquisition. So, in terms of valuation, it's too soon for us to comment. This will be something we take up closer to the AGM next year. I think what we would say is ALCON is coming into a position of strength. It's growing, and the market leader in both vision care and the market leader in ophthalmology medical devices. It had very strong growth, double-digit bottom-line growth, and very strong top-line growth in the first quarter, as well as throughout last year. And it's a leader in a $20 billion global market that's continuing to grow. So we think ALCON is a very attractive company to be an investor in.
So did this, growth at ALCON, did this growth when it comes to also profits come back earlier than expected? Was that the faster move you made?
We had a great management team put in place in the first part of 2016. Mike Ball and David Endicott and the entire leadership team did a great job turning this business around and creating what we believe is really now a strong growing business into the future. I would say it was in line with our expectations, maybe even a little faster than we hoped, and we think it's the right moment now to enable Novartis to focus, ALCON to focus, and to benefit our shareholders.
So why Switzerland then? I mean, ALCON is mainly based in Texas now. Why Switzerland? Why did you choose also to list this new company in Switzerland?
Well, as you know, Novartis's home is Switzerland. ALCON's home, before becoming part of Novartis, was also incorporated in Switzerland. So I think it makes a lot of sense from a historical standpoint. Second, Switzerland, of course, is a very attractive business environment. Our home has been here for centuries. We view this as an attractive place to house a company. So it was the right place for ALCON as well to be located from that standpoint as well. And it's important to note ALCON has a presence here both in Geneva and Freiburg, which I think is an important consideration as well.
How about tax issues?
When you look at the tax, it's actually tax neutral to Novartis, and when you look at the overall situation. So it's very important to note this is only maintaining the tax status as it is today. We think it's important for Switzerland to continue to create a friendly business environment from a tax standpoint, from a labor standpoint, from an IP standpoint. And I think as long as Switzerland continues to create that competitive environment, I think companies will want to be based here.
So share price rose this morning. Is it all because of the share buyback program you also announced this morning?
We announced our share buyback program to demonstrate our confidence in the outlook in the business. We have a strong sales outlook, we believe. We continue to work to build out our margins and continue to grow the company. And also we have a very strong pipeline. So we thought it was the right moment, given that we had the proceeds from the sale of our OTC consumer stake to GSK, to return some of these proceeds to shareholders and also to demonstrate our confidence in the outlook of the company.
What's the logic behind all these share buyback programs? At the end, you're supposed to be a company investing, but you're giving the money back to shareholders.
You know, when we look at how we allocate capital, we have 4 priorities. 1, we invest in our business, and we want to always ensure we invest fully in our business. Second, we want a strong and growing dividend in Swiss francs. And one of the other things we announced this morning is we'll maintain our dividend in Swiss francs, even with the potential departure of ALCON as a separate company. Third, we want to do bolt-on acquisitions, and we've already done $13 billion of bolt-on acquisitions just this year. So we continue to invest in our pipeline. And then fourth, when appropriate, when we have excess cash available, we return it to our shareholders. So in my view, we've been very disciplined in how we've approached capital allocation and to use a share buyback only when it's absolutely appropriate.
So interest rates possibly rising. Does this play a role when it comes to the capital allocation on share buyback programs and stuff like that?
Really not. I mean, we've been really focused on trying to do the right things for the company, focusing the company as a medicines company to drive our growth and drive our innovation. That's one element of it. And the second is capital allocation, being disciplined about capital allocation. I can really say that the interest rates were not a big determining factor in these recent decisions.
So last question, where are you heading with Novartis? Would we see more of these sales or more acquisitions in the future?
When you look at Novartis today, and as we look into the future as a leading medicines company focused on data and digital, we have 12 potential blockbuster medicines coming forward. We have a growing base business right now with Entresto, Cosentyx, and our oncology brands. We have leading platforms in gene therapies and cell therapies. So my belief is we can grow our top line through these transformative innovations and truly impact the lives of patients, continue to improve our profitability, and be one of the leading and most valuable healthcare companies in the world.